And welcome back to Closing Day, the real estate show that covers everything about real estate. Today I have with me Linda Decker from Decker Appraisers, and we are talking about appraisals and why people get them, what they're all about, and I think I want to cover the why people get them. I mean, we know banks ask for appraisals, but what other reasons are there? What other reasons are there to get an appraisal?
Well, I've done appraisals for estate planning.
Okay, yeah.
Matrimonial settlement.
Oh, it's a few of those.
Yeah, those are interesting ones sometimes.
Cheaper to keep her, I know.
You know, there's appraisals done for expropriation. Say municipality is widening a road and needs to take land from a homeowner, and that sometimes requires an appraisal. Sometimes insurance purposes. So
Okay.
there's a few reasons.
And I guess if somebody's getting ready to sell their home, they get all types of opinions of what their home is worth. They'll have their neighbor tell them how much it's worth, or the neighbor will tell them how much their other neighbor sold their home for, but nobody really knows.
Yeah.
You know, real estate agents will come in and give you values, but they tend to vary a little bit as well. So I would guess it's a good value to have you come in, or someone like yourself, an appraiser, come in and give them a realistic value.
Yeah, you're right, especially for, you know, maybe, I mean, with listing through a real estate agent, they're usually, you know, communicate with the homeowner to see what they would think would be a good listing price. But especially for private purchase, it'd be a very good idea to have an appraisal done before, either for the homeowner selling the home or for the purchaser, just to come up with a purchase price, because again, it is tricky to estimate the value of your property just based on what everybody else around you is saying, because I've heard many times from homeowners when I go to do an appraisal saying, oh, well, home down the street sold for whatever, 500,000. You know, my neighbor said they sold for 400,000. Then I do the research and it turns out it's not correct. So yeah, especially for a private purchase, it's a very good idea just to have an appraiser come in and give again a neutral, objective value of your property, and it's very helpful in negotiations.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's good value to that, and especially as you mentioned before, a private deal. People have, you know, the person selling their house thinks their house is worth this much. The person wanting to buy the house thinks they want a price down here.
That's right.
And if they had an appraiser come in and actually give them a realistic value, then they can both, you know, look at it the way it really should be.
Yep.
And that would certainly help the deal come along.
That's right.
I know from a financing perspective, anytime it's a private deal, always need an appraisal. It's never just a given that the value is right. Okay. Now, we were talking about different types of homes during the break that you do appraisals on. So talk about some of the unique homes you've done. Let's start with that.
Well, I think this is about 8 or 9 years ago I appraised the home. It was actually new construction, so I had to go back about 5 or 6 times to do progress inspections, and it was about a 6,000 square foot home.
Yeah.
It just had some really neat features, like it had a stone bridge inside the house with a water feature in the entrance.
A bridge inside the house?
Yeah, a little stone bridge. And just the detail in the flooring and in the ceiling, you know, had the waffle ceilings and all that. The dining room looked more like a ballroom.
Oh, wow.
It had a beautiful wood-burning fireplace in the family room with a dumbwaiter in front of the fireplace. So he just pushed a button and the floor would come up, and kind of like an elevator.
Really?
And it would bring up the wood from the basement. It had an outlook tower and heated balcony, and it was stunning.
Who thinks of these things?
Someone who's in the construction business.
It's got a lot more money than.
Yeah.
So that's one of the fancier houses you've done.
I would say that's probably the nicest home that I've done. I've been into quite a few fancy houses that are 8,000 square feet, but there's something to be said for character and all that too. I like the homes that have the special features, have the wood finishing and just the detail and all that.
Okay.
But I mean, as an appraiser, that doesn't matter. I mean, you appraise the home based on what the market tells you and not what you personally
Of
like.
course, but you still have your personal
Well, sure,
taste, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're appraising at market value, so someone knows what their house is worth, if they're going to sell it, or as you said, there's other reasons, that they want to get the actual value.
Yeah.
And you do all your appraisals in this area, mostly?
Mostly, I go, I guess, as far east as Schaumburg and south towards Georgetown and up towards Flesherton.
Okay,
so I cover quite a large area, which you kind of have to because I do a lot of rural properties and there aren't that many of them, so I have to drive a little further.
Well, tell us a little bit about, we talked about the nicest house. How about the scariest house you've ever appraised?
Well, I appraised a grow-up about 2 blocks from my own house.
A grow-up?
It was a full-blown grow-up. I think the people, the owners, whoever was running the grow-up had been arrested, and when I went in, I actually went in with another appraiser. Everything was still in the house. All the evidence of, the grow-up was there. There was mold everywhere. It was quite something, yeah.
Kind of like a Breaking Bad scene, or?
I've never watched that show, so I can't say. But it was.
Was that other show, Weeds? That's it. Yeah.
It was quite the eye opener. A little bit scary. I mean, I don't know if anybody was living in the house while this was going on. I mean, certainly it wouldn't be very good for your health. Even going in as an appraiser, we just wore a face mask, and I think maybe we wore booties, which really isn't enough.
Right.
But that's something that sometimes we come across. We knew this was a grow up going in, but sometimes even you go into a home and there's a room full of, like, even if it's just like an unheated room full of mold and things like that, and you're not always warned about this, so yeah, it's you don't want to spend too much time inside. But
I understand that mold is dangerous too.
Mold is not good for your health. That's right. Yeah, it's if you breathe in the spores, it's not good for you.
No, that wouldn't be good. So when you're doing an appraisal, now that's not a property inspection. Property inspection is something different.
It is different. Yeah, a lot of people actually do confuse the two.
Mm-hmm.
As an appraiser, we don't look what's behind the walls, say. Like, we don't look how much insulation is in there.
Right.
We don't check all the electrical outlets or all the plumbing. We don't go up on the roof to see what the condition is in. We kind of go by what we can see from the ground and from just going through the house. With that said, we do check to see what kind of plumbing is in the house. There's some of the older homes still have the cast iron, and the new homes now these days, it's all the plastic, the PEX, and we do check the roof from the ground to see what the condition is like, because I mean the roof is very important part of the structure, and you want that to be in decent shape anyways.
Yeah, so that would affect market value.
Well,
if it
definitely.
Needs a new roof.
If the roof looks like it's going to be leaking anytime soon, then you want to make sure you replace it before that happens. So, so we just kind of go by, okay, what's the condition of the house, the number of rooms, and number of bedrooms, and just the overall condition, and of course the size of the house. So unless I have a floor plan from the builder, I actually go out and measure all the houses myself.
Oh, do you?
And then extra features like garages or deck, pool, anything like that.
Now, what about things in the area? Windmills, those wind turbines?
Yeah, I've talked to quite a few people who actually live around the wind turbines, and I always ask them, did it have any impact on you deciding whether you wanted to purchase this property? And the ones who, of course, live amongst them, they say, well, no, it doesn't bother us, but I know there are quite a few people who would not purchase a property that's near a wind turbine.
Yeah, or near a train. That'd be another one, right?
I've done a few properties where a train runs pretty well right behind the house, and again, it's, I mean, it's not only the noise, but I mean, there's always that very tiny chance, like, what if it goes off the rails just right where your house is, I mean, the chances are small, but it does happen, so.
Yeah, so you have to look for things like that as well.
That's right, yeah.
And now, is there like speaking of trains, I guess there's like subdivisions that are nicer than others. There's a good side of the tracks, there's a bad side of the tracks, right?
Yeah.
And would that affect the appraisal on an individual house as well?
Yeah, well, what we try to do is, when you do the appraisal on the property in this neighborhood, you try to look for comparable sales that are in the same neighborhood.
Okay.
If there aren't any available, you try to go to a neighborhood that's kind of comparable. But there are neighborhoods that are more valuable than others, so then you end up making an adjustment for the location.
All right.
But you try to stick to the same neighborhood if you can.
Same side of the tracks. Okay, then that answers that question for sure. Now, if I'm going to have an appraisal done on my house, what would you suggest I do to get ready to have you come in and look through? Is there anything that somebody can do to maybe prepare their house so it shows well, that make it easier for you to get through?
Hide your underwear.
Oh, geez, my wife's been talking to you, hasn't she? Okay.
Not everyone does that. I really don't need to see that.
Okay.
No, I mean, a lot of people don't do anything. I mean, everyone's busy and working, so, but no, typically just for me to be able to go in and see what's there. I mean, I've been into rooms where I can't even see the floor. So then,
really?
Yeah. So that's kind of, not a great thing as an appraiser. You don't
they know an appraiser's coming, and
yeah,
wow.
But to some people it doesn't matter. Other than that, I know there's appraisers who maybe will ask the homeowner to put their dog away. Personally, I love dogs, so if they're around, hey, great. But other than that, there's not a whole lot that they need to do to prepare.
All right, so generally just clean up, make it easy for you to get in and out.
Yeah.
Should they supply anything to you, hydro bills, gas bills, anything like that?
We
Does that
don't
help?
typically research the hydro bills or gas bills or any costs like that.
Okay.
Sometimes we may ask for a tax bill, but we can also find that information out by having the assessment value and the tax rate, so we can calculate the tax amount that way. So. No, usually if it's a new house, I'll ask if the homeowner has a floor plan, a builder's floor plan, so I don't have to measure it. And the measurements typically is very accurate, but to have a floor plan just makes everything a little bit easier. But other than that, no, just be there.
Well, that's great. Okay, so we learned a whole pile about appraisals, what they're about, and the value of them. I mean, that's good to know now. Anybody who needs to wants to know what their house is worth, get an appraisal done so you don't end up spending too much or selling for too little.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, Linda, I'd like to thank you very much for coming out.
Well, thank you for
and
having me.
being a guest
it's
on my show. And I'd like to thank everyone there for tuning in. My name is Jeff Delgrand, and we'll see you next time on Closing Day, the show all about real estate.